to find my own dream and follow my own path rather than do what is expected of me. So up until that point, that's what I knew how to live, is to do what is expected of me in order to gain acceptance and approval.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Side Hustle podcast here, where we bring on entrepreneurs from across Canada and around the globe. And this edition is going to be very special because we have Alex Quinn on all the way from Australia. We won't tell you what time it is. Well, we know there's a 14 to 16 hour time difference, but we won't tell you if it's early morning our time or early morning her time. But what I can tell you is she is co-authoring a book with Brian Tracy. That's how we met. That's why she's on the podcast today, to hear about her story and, tell us how she began and where she's at now and what kind of things you're up to. So Alex, welcome to Canada.
Thank you so much for having me, Robert. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
Yeah, and you're the first guest from this edition, Brian Tracy's 93rd publication. He's going for 100, so we're lucky to get in on this edition. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex. How you started out in business. Maybe a little bit about school, maybe preschool. Any stories growing up? Bring us to where you got into the business you're at now.
Of course, thank you for allowing me to share my story. So I was born and raised in China, in the southern part of Canton, where it's very, very small town. And I grew up in poverty, and I remember that I was taken away from my parents when I was 2 years old, because we were so poor that my parents have to left me and seek work in a far distant cities. And so little did I know that from my little mind, that I make up this story that I was not good enough to be with my parents. And from then on, I just get trapped into this belief that I'm not good enough. And then I didn't know how it could impact my life later on. And I just go on, do my things, and do what my parents want me to do, and trying to prove that I'm good enough for them so that I can be with them. That has been a story of most of my life, that, they told me to study well and get to university, and then you find a job, that you get married and you have kids. And I did exactly what they told me to do. They want me to become an accountant. So I studied really hard to be an accountant. I get to a university. I get to the top 4 accounting faculties in China. And then there's opportunity for me to study in Europe. And I was competing against 50,000 students in my university for the top 10 position to be able to select it to study in Europe. And I was one of the lucky 10s being selected to study in Europe, in Austria, one of the beautiful the number 1 city in the world to live in. So I have that really eye-opening experience to study in Europe and see what possibility out there, outside of China, outside of my small town. And so after that, I got from then I went back because it's a exchange program, 1-year exchange program. And once I complete that 1-year exchange program, I need to go back to China. So I went back to China. I remember I was so excited. My mind was all open up. I told my dad, Dad, I wanted to be the bridge between the East and the West. Oh, there's so much possibilities there. I wanted to have my international business. And my dad paused, and he was like, yeah, it's a great dream. But you know what? I invested 4 years for you to go to university to study accounting. I think you should go back and find a job in the accounting field. So being a good girl, always seeking for approval and acceptance from my parents, I went back and looked for a job. And I actually got an offer from PwC, one of the big four accounting firm, 6 months before I graduated, when everybody else was looking for jobs, and I got that offer in my hands. And it was the dream job for a lot of the people in the accounting field. So I should be celebrating, but my heart was just really something is missing. And I was just tossing and how I don't know, I should celebrate. Why I'm not happy? Why am I not happy? But anyway, so in order to please my father, I went in and do the things that my parents want me to do. And I worked really hard and started my career as an auditor. I've been sent out to the field to do the vouchering and to do the field auditing and learn a whole lot about business. And I'm so in love with business. And there's so much possibility out there when you are doing a business. And but then I worked so hard and I got burnout. At the time, I didn't know the word burnout. I didn't know how to
Burnout
describe.
happens a lot in the accounting industry. A lot of the big firms push so hard, they push people so hard, especially the junior staff and the new people in the firm. You know, they're burdened with
Absolutely.
the additional work.
Yeah.
Can
And I
relate.
was working average 75 to 80 hours a week. And one day I woke up and I just couldn't move my body. Literally, I couldn't move my body. I thought I'm about to die. And I didn't have the word called burnout in my mind. I didn't have the language to describe that. All I knew it was like, if I don't change, I'm going to die. And so had that experience of living in another country, I knew life is not just about working hard. And so that's when I start to look for opportunities outside of China. And I could go to Canada, and I could go to New Zealand. I could go to Australia because they want the hardworking accountants. And I was like, yeah, I'm a hardworking accountant. I could go to these places. Ultimately, I decided to come to Australia because Canada, I know I love Canada, but it's too cold for me. I can't handle the weather of minus 20 degrees Celsius. And so I made a decision to
There's
come.
a well-kept secret in Canada, one that I did not know until I was in my 30s, close to 30, when I moved to Vancouver from Ontario. Minus 30 is very, very considerate. It goes to minus 40. And when I moved out to Vancouver, it was in December '96, actually for the Sydney Olympic trials for the Canadian team. And it was about 2 months later in January. And I asked all the team, we were out training, and I said, when does it snow here? And they said, it doesn't snow in Vancouver. So they call it the Canadian California. So there is parts of Canada where it doesn't snow, and there are parts of Canada that have tropical heat.
Oh, that's a well-kept secret to me at the time. Otherwise, I would go to Vancouver and we could have met in Vancouver then. Well, then life go on, and I in 2006, with one backpack, one-way ticket, I landed in Sydney and start my life all over again, not knowing much about English. I still nervous about speaking to strangers,
And
but I knew,
how long ago was that, Alex?
oh my gosh, that's 17 years ago.
Wow.
I landed here in Sydney and I start my whole life over again. And I remember the first night I landed here, lucky I found an accommodation straight from the airport. The first thing I did was find a place to sleep that night. So yeah, I cried the whole night through until the morning. Someone knocked on my door and say, "Are you okay?" I just keep crying. But yes, that's where I started, and I did the best thing I can do at the time is to go back to being an auditor. Find a job. It took me 6 months to find my first job as an auditor, relatively is quite quick, but I was like, oh my gosh, every single day I was like knocking on doors, sending out my resumes and practicing my English, trying to grab somebody on the street so that I can practice speaking in English. Yeah, so that is how I started. And then I found my job back in one of the, I don't know whether you have that in Canada. It's at the time it's called PKF. One of the chartered accounting firms is the second tier accounting firm. And
I
then I
don't know
started
that
there.
one.
You don't have that?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no. PWC we know.
Yes.
KPMG we know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's where I started. And then I got burned out again because I was working so hard. And I thought maybe it's because now I changed country. Why am I still facing this same problem of burnout? And I think maybe it's because my career, the job that I was in, auditors are hardworking. Maybe it's just the industry. What if I could change an industry? Maybe my life would be better. And then so that got me start thinking, and I start to look for opportunity. Look at those people work in the bank. They have pretty good life. And maybe when I change my industry, my life would be different. So then I start to work really hard and change. And then I ended up working for two of the big four banks in Australia, and one of them being the choice of employee. So most of the people, pretty much the best job that you can get in Australia, it's people work for that company, would stay there for life. They wouldn't like to go anywhere else. But guess what? 2 years down the track, I got burned out again. So I was like, what's going on with my life? And it just so happened at that point in time, I was playing with my daughter on our veranda, and she looked up at me. She was like, Mommy, you always ask us to dream big and achieve high. So what's your dream?
Wow.
She was 9.5 when she asked that question. And she was just really exploring this world and challenging everything I said. And that moment for me, it was just like this knife stepping into my heart, and I can feel my heart's bleeding. I had no answer for her, only tears streaming down my face. And that moment I knew if I don't find my dream and follow through my dream, then my next generation, they are going to follow my footsteps instead of their own dreams. And
It's
I was
amazing
like,
how much our children follow what we do. You watch them, even little mannerisms, the way you brush your teeth, the way you brush your hair, how you tie your shoes,
exactly. And
the way
so
you talk,
so
especially if somebody cuts you off in traffic.
that's just little things like our children learn from what we actually do, not from what we told them or tell them to do. And so that means I need to work on me. So that's the moment I decided to find my own dream and follow my own path rather than do what is expected of me. So up until that point, that's what I knew how to live, is to do what is expected of me in order to gain acceptance and approval and feel I'm good enough.
I think you were on the
So
right path, because Warren Buffett, all of his presentations now at universities, he tells students in business, he said, you're in the 100% in the right program because you're learning the language of business, and the language of business is accounting. And you can take that skill to any business. So even doing what you're doing now, you don't need an outside accountant until you grow to the Brian Tracy size.
that's right. That's right. And actually, my
And then
husband
you
has
could
an
hire
accounting.
your husband, and me, I could be his assistant.
Yes, I'm working towards that big goal, Robert. Thanks for believing in me.
Yeah, so I mean, I was inspired because you were involved with the Brian Tracy co-authoring program, and So let's move forward now. You have all these skills, you have this experience, and you transition now into a new business. So tell us about your new business and how people can get a hold of you, what you do and how they can get a hold of you to, take you up on your services.
Yeah, my business is called Dream Warriors Coaching. And now I'm doing inner leadership coaching because I found through my journey, the most important thing for us to lead a team is actually develop our ability to lead ourselves to the success, to the goal that we desire, and find that burning desire within us, find the inner strength and inner knowledge, inner wisdom, so to lead us to the success that we desire. Once we develop that inner leadership skills, then we can inspire others and lead others to achieve the success that they desire. And so that's why my daughter actually inspired me to start this business called Dream Warriors Coaching, because I want them to be the warrior of their dreams, because your dream matter. Indeed, your dream matter. And so that's the message that I wanted to bring out to the world, and to, to inspire you to follow your dreams, because your dream matter.
Part of it helping discover the dream, because a lot of people go down one path and many years later they realize it's not their dream, it may be their father's dream, right? Like in your case and, in my case in different situations. But is part of your process helping identify what the right dream is? Because there's sometimes many.
That is so true. Yes, they will be involved with like discovering your dream, what matter to you, why you do what you do, and then give you the tools, including the mental tools and the strategies in order for you to achieve your dreams and inspire others. And because you want to build a business that ultimately free yourself up, so that the business can run without you, and that require you to have those people skills, the leadership skills, to be able to unite and leverage other people, the talent and ability, and develop their talent and ability. So that is very important skills for any business owners, because you started this business to achieve your dream, and people follow you because they follow your vision. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki talks about that in his 4 quadrants of cash flow. He says, in the top, the 4 quadrants, top left is having a job. JOB stands for just over broke. You spend your life building somebody else's dream. The bottom left corner is self-employed or entrepreneur. But then the top right corner is actually being a business owner, what you're talking about, being able to step outside your business and go away. Can you really go away for a week, and would your business run? And then the last quadrant is investor. So we all aspire to be able to sit on the beach and do what we want to do. Some of us choose to work. My mother says, you'll never stop working. Maybe I won't. I'll start a food channel someday. That's on my list, on my bucket list.
Yeah, like Brian Tracy, he's still working at 80 years of age. That is so inspiring to see that when you love what you do, you never work a day, because you're just doing what you love.
Yeah,
And one of my mentor, Bob Proctor, he is from Canada as well. And I actually become certified by him and personally trained by him to become a Proctor Gallagher consultant, and deliver his leadership coaching programs as well. And he inspired me, like he worked to the last breath that he had.
Yeah, it was great being on the call last week with Brian Tracy, having to chat with him. And I brought up Vancouver, and I think it rekindled some memories. He said he could still drive around Vancouver like it was yesterday, but I don't know about downtown. There's too many one-way streets. They really made a mess of downtown Vancouver. I didn't want to spoil his fun though, reminiscing about Vancouver.
That is so true. Canada seems to be a place to nurture these thought leaders, these global thought leaders and influencers. So yeah, maybe I should come and visit Vancouver.
Yeah, one of these years, Vancouver, they call it Vancouver. It's a big Asian community. So moving into your business now, what is your website and what is the best way for someone to reach you?
Yes, my website is dreamwarriorscoaching.com.au. Don't forget the AU at the end.
And
And yes, so email me at alex@dreamwarriorscoaching.com and .au. Then I'm happy to have a chat with you guys and connect with you guys. And I also have some free resources available on my website under the resource
is
tab.
that going to include a online version of your book?
Yes,
PDF?
pre-order it. Yeah, I would love to send a copy to you when the book come out. Maybe sometime this year, at the end of this year, when the book come out. And yeah, so reach out and pre-order it, and then we will have send it to you when it's
Well,
available.
yeah, if you're listening on the podcast, it'll be in Alex's bio on the side of whatever podcast channel you're listening to. If it's on YouTube, check the links below. We'll have all of our contact info. So if you're interested in, learning from Alex and going through the Bob Proctor or Proctor Gallagher training, reach out to Alex. She knows what she's
Absolutely.
doing. Co-authoring with Brian Tracy is no small feat.
Yeah, indeed. It has been a wild ride. The sky is the limit. There's infinite possibility. If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands.
Wow. We have to get that quote as well in the bio. So JJ and Gigi that does our editing, they'll make sure and get that in there. So the book is supposed to be coming out. Your edited version is submitted. Your photo is submitted for the cover. Those will be coming out in about 30 days. So if you're watching this, look at the date, count down 30 days and watch for that cover. There will be links to the ebook as well, I'm sure. And if you want to pre-order Alex's book, co-authored with Brian Tracy, do you have a title for the book?
Yeah, the title for my chapter, it's Inner Leadership.
That will
It's
be
leading from within.
that will be on the
And
cover as well.
yeah, that would be amazing. I think that's, becoming inner leadership, like develop this inner leadership ability is so crucial. And that's how one of my clients actually turned her monthly income into weekly income in less than 2 months at age of 69. When she came to me, she was 69 years young, and she said, I just wanted to know, I wanted to change. I wanted to change, but I don't know what I need to do to change, and I don't know how I can change it. But I just know that I need to do something different. Can you help me, please? I said, of course, let's discover what is this that you wanted to express through whatever the avenue that you wanted to express. And then at age of 69, she actually quit her job. It was a very scary period of time, but because of these mental tools that I've been leading her through, she was able to turn her monthly income into weekly income within 2 months. And that helped her to achieve 3 dreams. Number one, she always wanted to write and publish a self-development book. And she, with the extra money that she earned and extra time she has, she invested in writing and publishing her book. And the second dream she wanted to do was to travel across Australia in her, in a gypsy style to experience and witness the beauty of this country. But she was so trapped in the job that she couldn't get out of it. And once she got at age of 69, believe it or not, she built a business 100% online, and she converted a mobile home with a big satellite dish on top of her van. And without sacrificing her income, she took her husband and let's go travel for 3 months across Australia. I was like so inspired by her. And the third dream was she did so well in her business, and her son come up to her and say, Mom, you did so well. Can you help me to set up this e-commerce business? I need your help. And having her son to say to her and ask her for advice about tech, about building an e-commerce business, she was like, oh my gosh, this is my dream come true. So no dreams too big or no dream is too small. It's just really believing in you and developing the skill sets within you and tap into the inner power within you.
And I heard another saying, it takes just as much energy to dream big as it does to dream small.
Absolutely. So true. So true.
So what's next, Alex? I know you're set to go to San Diego for the launch of the book. There's going to be other co-authors there, I believe 16. And that is going to be in the fall, I believe in November. So it should be nice and warm in San Diego in November. It'll be getting cooler in Canada, I know that. I'll be looking forward to go down there. So what is the big plan for San Diego? How do you plan on leveraging your meeting in San Diego with Brian and the other authors?
Great question. I think it's really about the connections and building that relationships. And I always believe that business is built upon authentic relationships. That's how Rob and me and we connected, because we are in this journey. It's really about building that relationships and adding value. How can we make the pie bigger together? Yeah, so that is what I'm looking forward to, knowing other co-authors and exploring and leaning in what is the possibility and opportunity that we can co-create and help each other to make the cake bigger.
Bigger cake, just what I need.
There
I've
you
just lost a
go.
lot of weight. I don't need more cake, but I like the inspiration. I like the inspiration. So traveling down there, it's going to be a long journey from Australia. How long do you plan on staying? Are you going to visit anywhere else in the US?
I still have not booked my flight yet, so I'm still allowing the inspirations to come in. Maybe we could do something there. In maybe if listeners, if you guys happen to be in San Diego, please reach out and let us know. Maybe we can catch up for coffee or dinner or connect. I just really treasure these and human interactions and in-person experience. Bring this internet experiences to in-person experience. And that's why I actually have a monthly online networking events to connect the business owners from all around the world, because as a business owners, we wanted to take advantage of these global connections. This internet can bring so much more into our business. And some people tell me that, it's online connection is never the same with in-person experiences or in-person connections. But you know what? I started my business during COVID. And I believe that I have more genuine connection online than the people that I physically can reach during that time. And I'm just so grateful for this internet to bring this international network together. And I have probably last month networking event, we have about people from 6 different countries came to my networking event. And I
We'll
just
have to
really,
make sure and get that link on the podcast bio as well, and we'll have it in the YouTube links below the video here. So make sure you
yeah,
get us that link to join the meetup.
yeah, that would be great. That would be awesome. And I truly believe this internet COVID changed the whole game. Please embrace these internet facilities and really explore how can you take your business global.
It changed it. You're an accountant, so you'll appreciate this. During the beginning of COVID, our tax agency, Canada Revenue Agency, for years we've been lobbying to get 2 forms allowed to be signed online, and Canada Revenue said, no, we need wet signature, you need ID, you need to meet the person. As soon as COVID hit, those rules changed pretty quick, and they're not going back. 4 years later now, we're still 100% online. So now our business is pivoted 100%. We're 100% online virtual accounting firm now.
That's amazing, isn't it?
And something I heard from Brian Tracy, how to differentiate yourself. I heard a great saying by him. He said, the client asks him, Brian, why should I use your service? With us, there's 220,000 registered accountants in Canada with the government agency. The IRS in the US is 1.6 million. So what differentiates us? Brian said, you stop the client right there and you look them straight in the eye and you say, Mr. Client, the best part about working with us is I come with the deal. So if you want to work with me, you work with our firm. So that's the connection you build, and if they want to work with you, and we just had a client the other day said, I don't want to talk to a junior person. I want to talk to Robert. So I emailed them back and I said, when somebody signs up for Twitter, do they want to have an interview with Elon Musk? Right. So he kind of chuckled and I told him, I would get online and work with him a bit, but we have to leverage our teams.
That is true. That is so true. And, nowadays, you can have a virtual meeting, just a quick one, just have that initial contact, initial conversation that make them feel so much better.
Are you doing your coaching online predominantly?
Yes. And
any local clients that you're able to meet one-on-one with?
I don't do in-person one-on-one. Everything is online. I have clients come from 4 different continents. Wow. and I just COVID make it an online and it changed the game. I just embracing it. Everything is online. Some of the clients, they just come to me because me being me and they resonated with my message. They resonated with me. And I was just able to bring everyone on Zoom and we share, and they seeing them in this part of the community and they supporting each other and they build relationship or connections outside of these my coaching calls. It just make my heart sing to see those connections and turn into friendships. I just love that.
And what are some of your goals, some of your ultimate goals? This business, how many members on your team are you going to develop your own coaching program that you're going to license? What is the ultimate goal for Alex?
I wanted to help 1 million people to achieve their dreams and turn their dreams into reality with the online and take advantage of the online opportunities. If you wanted to grow your business online and expand your network online, and I have the business strategies and the mindset to help you to achieve your dreams. And that's my goal, 1 million people to turn their dreams into reality. Don't let those limiting beliefs hold you back. And I love to seeing you guys take advantage of these online opportunities. And I have those online business growth strategies to help you to get your message heard globally and turn your dreams into reality. And Rob, thank you so much for asking this question. Now I just realized I'm actually achieving my dreams now, because when I was in Vienna, all I wanted is to have a global business. I wanted to be the bridge between people and connect the people from different countries together. And as you asked that question, that vision just come back to me. It's like really global. This is the global network. This is a global opportunities. And there's no limit in the online world, and you can build real, authentic relationships in this online world. You can.
That's one thing I envy about some of the people that come on our podcast, and usually we have a co-host, but he's been traveling and he's very tired today. But the part I envy is that you don't have any borders with clients. You can work with clients in multiple languages probably, and also, any country, continent. Whereas our business, that's one part. We get to interview people from outside the country, but our accounting firm, our insurance brokerage, investment brokerage, we're limited to the Canadian borders. So we have to grow our business within Canada and compete against people in Canada. We're doing a great job. We're going to achieve our goals for sure. But I envy being able to work with clients from around the world.
Yeah. When you build a business that someone else can run the business for you, you probably can come and visit me in Sydney for 6 months and you still be able to run your business from Sydney.
I will have that opportunity. Okay, so Alex, one of the things we ask all our guests is, I'm not going to ask for a Bob Proctor book or a Brian Tracy book, but any book or movie that has inspired you to get to where you're at today. Anything you could recommend to our listeners?
Can I go back to a classic book?
Yeah, of course.
A classic, The Napoleon Hills, Think and Grow Rich. You can't go wrong with that one. And also The Power of Awareness.
We're gonna have to start keeping track of how many people mention Think and Grow Rich. We're gonna have to say, no, you're gonna have to go with option 2.
Yeah, and yeah, so The Power of Awareness. It's, oh my gosh, that is such a wonderful book. It's just allow you to think, wow, I'm just so limited by my thoughts. And when you break through that ceiling and start to see the power is actually within you, it's about your awareness. And I love this quote from Bob Proctor. He said, your financial goal, it's only limited by your awareness. Like, the opportunity is there. Are you aware of that opportunity? And turn that opportunity into real financial benefits. It's everything just to do with our awareness.
Don't let it limit you.
There's no limit, and your dream matters.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, Alex, I'm sure you're getting on with your day there in Australia. I just let the cat out of the bag what time it is there. So you have, I'm sure, a busy day. Thanks so much for coming on. We'll make sure and get all the links here if you're listening on the podcast. Those will be in below Alex's bio here, whatever channel you're listening in from. We'll have everything in the comments below as well if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube. I encourage you to get to our YouTube channel and watch the episodes because there's nothing like watching somebody speak, seeing the expressions and the emotions when people are talking about their dreams. Any last comments, Alex, for our listeners? Those who are listening are, going on that entrepreneurial journey. They're taking the first step. Some of them are partway through. Some of them are exiting their dream. Any last comments?
My last comment would be keep believing and keep dreaming big because your dream matters.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you for having me, Robert.